Yes. Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. Earlier today, Raila Odinga led the Azimio Brigade in a press briefing where he clarified that their meeting on Wednesday, 7th, at Kamkunji grounds in Nairobi will not be a demonstration, but a public consultative forum. Raila Odinga. The Kamkunji event on Wednesday is a public consultative forum. It is not a call to public protest. It is not mandamano. It is a coming together of Kenyans to share views on the state of affairs in the country. This regime is trying to paint a horror movie picture of this event. The mandamano they are talking about is theirs, not ours. And then you are seeing Raila Odinga, there you are seeing Martha Karua, David Morathe, among other leaders there. In this video, I want us to answer only one question. Why is Raila Odinga avoiding the mandamano route? Why is he not calling his supporters expressly for demonstrations? That's the question I want us to answer in this video right now. If you are watching us for the very first time, subscribe, give this video a like. Thank you. Why is Raila Odinga not expressly calling his supporters to public protests? The first reason, Raila wants to engage the people, his supporters, to see whether they are angry and annoyed enough with William Ruto and his government. Raila wants to see whether these people are ready for street protests. So these public forums, in my honest opinion, is just a way Raila Odinga is going to engage the people to see whether they are annoyed and tired of William Ruto's government, and whether they are ready for street protests. Raila does not want to be in a hurry to impose or rather force his supporters to street protest while they are not ready for the protests. That's the first reason I'm saying Raila Odinga is calling for these public forums to engage his supporters to know whether they are ready for the street protests. Secondly, Raila is cleverly going to use these public engagement forums as a build-up to a possible countrywide protest against William Ruto's government. In that, Raila is going to prepare Kenyans psychologically for a possible public protest against William Ruto's government. So this is also just a psychological way Raila is preparing Kenyans for mandamano. Thirdly, I'm seeing a Raila Odinga who wants to use these street protests or these public forums as a warning to William Samoei Ruto that if you don't behave, then it can get worse than this. You know, if he starts expressly with demonstrations, then he shall have given his last card, his most lethal weapon. So Raila just wants to use these forums to give a warning to William Ruto. And I won't be wrong to say that during these public forums, Raila and his team will most definitely be issuing ultimatums and demands to William Samoei Ruto and his government. And Raila will most likely be just airing or voicing the things Kenyans have been complaining about Ruto's government. For example, the high cost of living, corruption in government, nepotism in government, where we are seeing only two communities are benefiting in William Ruto's government, while all Kenyans are paying taxes. Raila will also most likely use these forums to call William Ruto to order, for William Ruto to respect independent government institutions, for William Ruto to stop meddling in independent government institutions and other arms of government. Because as it is right now, it's a fact. William Ruto is trying very hard and very desperately to control all arms of government. And from the look of things, he is succeeding. Already, the legislature is now in William Ruto's pockets. The judiciary is now deemed as leaning towards William Ruto. So William Ruto is actually desperate in making sure he controls all arms of government and all independent government institutions. So through these public forums, Raila will most definitely take the opportunity to warn William Ruto. Should William Ruto fail, then most definitely Raila Odinga will call for public protests. And that will make sense in that he shall have actually given a warning to William Ruto. And those warnings, in my honest opinion, are the things Kenyans are also complaining about. Should William Ruto's government fail, then most definitely Raila will call for action. And also, one thing I'm seeing here, I'm seeing a Raila Odinga who does not want to call for public protests and then they end up backfiring. I'm also seeing a Raila who is cleverly trying to avoid him, or rather to avoid a scenario where he calls for public, or rather for public protests, and then they backfire. Should they backfire, then Raila's last weapon, rather his most lethal weapon, shall have now been rendered useless. And now his future calls might not yield much. So I'm seeing Raila who is also cleverly and deliberately trying to make sure he only calls for this protest if he's sure they will actually be successful. Yes. And I'm saying that because if you study Raila politically, Raila is a very shrewd kind of a politician. He's one of the scheming politicians we have in Kenya. In terms of political scheming, Raila, I think, is one of the best. So he wants to make sure his call for action will succeed. That's also something I'm seeing here, ladies and gentlemen. As I conclude, the mere fact that the entire government, William Ruto's government, are all talking about Raila's planned demonstrations and protests, that confirms, and this is something I've been saying here, that confirms that William Ruto and his government are very much afraid of Raila Odinga. Raila scares them. Raila akikohoa, William Ruto and his government is as if they are trembling. They feel it. And that can confirm that in the just concluded elections, August elections, presidential, Raila Odinga might have won that election. And this is something I consistently say here. The mere fact that when Raila talks or even hints to a possible demonstration, you are seeing the entire government talking about it, confirms that they see Raila Odinga as a threat. And that also confirms William Ruto's government is insecure. They don't have confidence in themselves. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching us for the very first time, subscribe, give this video a like. To our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humbled, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you, God bless Kenya. Any other person who wants to support us here, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number or feel free to channel your support to the number. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you.